Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the eSeniors GT3 World Championship. As you know, my name is Juan Antonio. You might know me as Tony, the man up there for sure knows.
eSeniors GT3 World Championship.
I hear a little bit of echo here, ladies and gentlemen. I think that was our friend Jeremy Arrobas. No problem.
It was.
Well, he introduced himself.
I needed to be guilty of something.
Well, it's the best way to introduce you because finally, Mr. Arrobas is back with us. It's a pleasure to have him here. And of course, my man up there, Mr. Jonathan Wood. Hello, guys. How are we going?
Howdy, howdy. Coming to you from sunny Southern California. But yeah, I'm looking forward to this race. We're getting down to the wire now, right?
Oh, yeah. End of the season.
Definitely 3 races left.
Indeed. We're going to check the standings quickly because the qualifying has started. So we're just going to go directly into that. There you have the standings. And as you can see, my God almighty, is it exciting. We only have 3 more rounds counting this one. And we have Dawn Queen at the top with 513 points. And just behind Richard McKay and Stephen Buckley. What a 3-man fight for the lead. And ladies and gentlemen, I want you to tell me about these people. But first, we're going to move into the actual action. Because the qualifying laps are starting for every single one of the drivers. Mr. Wood, I would like you to tell me how this track goes. Because we have someone getting ready to rock and roll. And that is Richard McKay. He's right now heading into the last sector, if I'm not mistaken. So, please, give us a round.
Okay, let me just find him on my... Oh, there he is. Okay, so as we come down the hill here, he's going to take the left-hander. We're coming towards the end of the lap, so I won't go over the particular corners right now, but we'll just wait a second. But some interesting facts about Kyalami. The modern Kyalami as a Formula 1 track is we started using it in 1993, and previous to that it went in the other direction. Cool story about that in a little while. But anyway, as we come down the main straight, you've got the pits on the left hand side. This is flat all the way down the hill. There's a kink onto the right, which is interestingly called the kink. And then we break probably at the 100-meter board here, go all the way down into the apex, this left-hander, which is called Crowthorn. And then the Juxkay sweep, which is a right-handed sweep in a GT3 car. It is flat before we hit the barbecue bend. You want to brake early, actually, so that you can get on the gas early and get down this straight. And then you've got a fast right-hander, which is going to be 4th or 3rd gear, which is sunset. I have big problems with this corner in seemingly every car. Everyone catches me up. It's crazy. Then the left-hander at Clubhouse Bend, which is a 2nd gear corner. Once again, you want to touch those curbs on the outside, inside. Back on the gas as early as possible before going down into the S's. Don't get on those curbs because they're going to bounce you all over the bloody place. And we're going to go up the hill here to the Leelkop hairpin, which is a left-hander, 2nd or 1st gear, and he's gone a little bit too deep. You want to catch 2nd gear early. It's a short shift to really get the power down and get the drive down the hill. Then this flat-out left-hander down through Mine Shaft before we hit Crocodiles, this right-hander which has a very, very late apex. So you want to hit that late apex and get on the power as early as humanly possible before hitting Cheetah, which is a right hand. Stay away from that curb on the right, otherwise it's going to get you straight into the barrier, down into the 50-meter board before you go down into 1st or 2nd gear, back onto the main straight, hammer it down the straight and over the line. Hopefully a 143 lap is going to be a good lap today, I think. I'm hoping to see pole position, a 143 dead. We shall see.
That was a fantastic track guide, Mr. Wood. And I want to ask the other man here in the commentary booth with us, Mr. Arrobas, please give us a live update of how are you doing, because everyone was worried, everyone was sending support to you, because of course we all love you. You're very important to all of us.
Well,
let us know, my friend.
Thank you very much for everyone's support. That's been really helping. I'm doing much better thanks to that, and very happy to be back today in the booth and being able to commentate this race makes me feel real good. Thanks everyone. I really appreciate your support, and really looking forward to this race. Jonathan, you mentioned a 143. Well, there's a 143.5 right now from Kenneth, and I believe it's gonna go lower than 143. We'll see.
Indeed. We already see Mr. Sosa, who's, my God, flying here in Kyalami so far. He's going to improve his lap time by 8/10 of a second. Bah, boom, get the sharpshooter P2. 43.8. What an amazing lap from the Portuguese. He seems to enjoy this track a lot. And, of course, the Bentley is definitely a great car for this track in particular, as we see someone in front of him completely out of the track. He's going to go for another round. And Mr. Wood, as you said, very historical track as well. Not much known to the mainstream audience, to be honest with you. But can you give us some facts about the track? Because I don't know, there's something magic about it. For me personally, I love it. I love Kyalami.
There's a lot of history here, both good and unfortunately bad. You know, this was a regular in the 60s and 70s, and you know there were some pretty awful fatalities here, unfortunately, in the 70s. We shouldn't talk about that any more than that. But yeah. Something that was interesting was, so one of the drivers in who drove in the 70s, late 70s and 80s was Andrea de Cesares. And when they went back here in 1993, they hadn't been here in many years, and he looked at the track and he couldn't understand the way that the curbs went because it just didn't make any sense to him. But what no one had told him was that they had changed the layout so that they went the other direction. So instead of going clockwise, they were going counterclockwise now. So anyway, funny little fact that a Formula One driver thought that he was going in one direction, but actually it was supposed to be the other.
Well, very interesting facts. I love it. And let me tell you, one way or another, clockwise or anti-clockwise, what a tricky track this is. What a bunch of corners that can mess you up. It's all about the flow, to be honest, especially on that second sector with the long right-hander, and then we go into the two left ones, and then into the downhill and then uphill section. I think that's where we're going to see most of the incidents throughout the race. But one way or another, I think we shouldn't focus on pandemonium. We should focus on the qualifying laps. And here we have Stefan Buckley, the American, trying that new BMW, looking beautiful, let me tell you that. By the way, ladies and gentlemen, of course, if you want to support the channel, please give us a like, give us a follow, and let us know, because this is my first stream with 1080p. Let me know if the stream looks better than before. And look at that, we were talking about Buckley, and Buckley just smashes it 43.4, pole position.
Yeah, man. And you know, Stefan, he's been practicing with this car all week. And let me tell you, last night, I was on with him and a bunch of the guys, and I was also in a Beamer, and I was trying to stay ahead of him, and I couldn't. I'm supposed to be a Group 1 driver, and this guy was he was faster than me. So this is going to be interesting. I said 143s. His first real good flying lap was a 43.4. I think we're going to go faster than this, though. What do you reckon?
Yeah, I believe that's a strong possibility. I believe also we're going to have very nervous guys at the start of this race. I believe the top 5, 6 are going to be very nervous starting and going into the race. And they're going to be praying hard. Nothing happens to them, and they can run the race from beginning to end.
Yeah, and you know what? Here's the thing with this track is what Juan Tony was saying a moment ago is that it's constantly winding, it's constantly turning. You only get a few seconds of respite, basically of rest on that main straight. So on the home straight. So you know it's very, very tiring, and these guys are basically up against the wall with this. And as you just mentioned, mate. For those top 5 guys in the championship, they cannot afford to have a bad race here, because if they do, championship is going to be over.
Exactly.
It's like Formula One.
Yeah. Exactly.
Definitely. Let me tell you, video stewards.
So that's gonna make it very intense racing, I believe.
Yeah, definitely. Most definitely. I think the racing here is going to be frantic. I think there's no other word for it. We saw throughout the week, for example, yesterday we saw an amazing race with the Porsche Cup as well with the GT4s. Everyone was struggling a lot, at least with the slower car, which of course is the GT4. But let me tell you something very interesting and nice about this qualifying session. Top 9 inside the second gap. That is beautiful to see, gentlemen. I think this is going to create a lot of buzz for when we go into the race itself. Right now, we're onwards with Billy Stewart, who just took P3. Took McKay out of those podium places for the qualifying session. We're going to move with Mr. Ian McFarlane. He's starting that first sector with the Porsche. And gentlemen, I need to ask you this for sure. I think we need to thank someone very special to us because they're helping the eSeniors make these amazing streams and support the server along with most of the work we do, right?
Yeah, absolutely, mate. So our sponsor, which is PWS Cleaning Equipment, providing some amazing cleaning stuff, professional cleaning equipment for your home. You can visit them at www.precisionwashers.co.uk. So thank you to PWS.
Fantastic. Look at my man, Jonathan Wood. I love it.
And look at Don Queen go, mate. He's in P6. He's just crossing the finishing line now. He's up to P4.368 of the seconds off of pole. I was talking to him yesterday. I've been jibing him all week. I think it was on maybe Tuesday or Wednesday. He said to me, he's like, John, I need to find like 2 seconds. And I said to him, good luck. And this morning I said to him, mate, did you find those 2 seconds? He's like, heck no. But it actually looks like he has. So he's deep in the 43s, which is bloody brilliant.
Oh, yeah, definitely. And of course, we forgot about the most important thing. Welcome everyone to the stream. McKay, David, Ellis, Roder, Trowbridge, of course, Mr. Wood himself, Chris Bourne, Schaffer, Peter David. I need to talk to you, my friend. My man, Jamaica. My man, Jamaica. Frank Tennant, I love him. Mr. Bird, Howells. It's awesome to have you all guys here with us tonight. We're already 16 people. That is amazing. Thank you very much. Lol, don't let Don fool you. You got to be sure of that. This man can pop an insane laugh just when you don't expect it. We have 6 minutes and 30 seconds of qualifying remaining. And right now, it looks very, very tight amongst the top 10 positions. And it's so good to see how close it is on qualifying already, gentlemen.
It's super close, mate. You've got Stefan Buckley in P1. You've got Kenneth literally a tenth of a second behind. And Ian is 0.2 behind. Mr. Stewart, 0.2 behind. Don Queen, 0.3. Rich McKay, less than half a second behind as well. And then Manuel Sousa, less than half a second behind as well. Stefan Buckley was telling me last night that he thinks that his really big Brembo brakes on his BMW are helping him today. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to give all of the props to his big brakes.
Ay. And Mr. Robas, who do you think can take the pole? Do you think someone's going to beat Buckley's time? We've seen that it's very close, at least amongst the top 6 is 0.3 of a second. So do you think someone can challenge it in this last 5 minutes of qualifying?
Yeah, everything is possible because they are so close to each other. It's really, really nail biting. I love it when it's so close. They're so close, and like I told you, I believe that's gonna make a bunch of top 5 guys very nervous at the start there, and anything can happen. Anything will happen. So let's see.
One of our players is missing.
Yeah. Who?
Where's Nikos? Because Nikos in pre-qualifying, he topped the timesheets.
Yeah.
So where's he sitting right now?
He was here.
P13. He's P13, and that's funny because he was in the P5, P7 before, yeah.
Yeah, and he was here in the qualifying session. We saw him for a tiny bit, but it seems like he disconnected. I saw him.
He's there.
Yeah.
He's there, but
Nah,
maybe
he's
he
there.
hasn't. He didn't say his last word yet.
He's just starting a lap right now. He just did an out lap, so maybe we can maybe we can ride with him.
With who, Mr. Wood? Who do you want to ride with?
Nikos
Okay.
Mansell. Nikos Mansell.
Let's go. Let's go
He's
with
my
Nikos.
man.
Oh yeah.
He's already up by a tenth. He's lost it a little bit, but it's just the first corner. Coming up to that difficult left-hander, you got to really get on the power as early as possible. See a lot of people drift wide there.
Yeah.
And this right-hander is just not my friend whatsoever.
Look at that very good line from Nikos. Very aggressive on the curve as well. I gotta tell you, like, I need to go back into this. This sector, I think, is the toughest. Apart from that humongous curb we have on the last sector, this sector is going to decide everything. This is where we've seen all of the drivers lose the most amount of time. So you really need to be precise, because the moment you steer a little more than usual, you're done for the whole flow of those following 3 corners. So we'll see. But Nikos right now, he's improving by 0.5 of a second. His fastest lap time was a 44.9. I don't know why that's not showing up. There we go. 44.9 for Mr. Nikos. As you previously mentioned, we saw him on the top 5 on pre-qualifying. Right now, he's struggling a little more than usual. But let's see if we can get a good exit here on the last corner. Looking very good for Nikos. I think that's going to be a 43. Let's see. Oh, 44.
P8.
But P8. Very good lap indeed.
Yep. And P8 is going to make him really, really dangerous at the first corner. So I want to kind of tell you about my 2 races. Well, my last 2 races. I qualified, I think, P7 in the constructors race, and I went down the inside at the first corner, and came out of the first corner in P4. So that can be done. Then the race yesterday, the Porsche Cup race, I qualified P6. This time I found myself on the outside, went all the way around the outside of everyone while Chris and Danny were having their little skirmish, and came out of the first corner, P3. So I think Nikos, if he's really, really aggressive, no matter where he is, if he's like, inside that top 10, he's going to be really has great potential of getting into that top 4, top 3 by the exit of turn 1.
Indeed. I have to agree with you, definitely. And so, Robas, we know.
Senor.
Si, senor. Okay. We know you're the safest, cleanest driver there is on the community. I think everyone will agree, because you like to set the standards for cleanness, for for being a gentleman on the track. Are we gonna have people being like you on the start of the race, or do you think it's gonna go the more aggressive way?
I think these times being so close to each other, I think it's going to be very intense. I think it's going to be a miracle if we don't have any incident in that first lap.
Okay.
Let's hope we don't. But and if we do, let's hope that it doesn't take out one of the top 3 contenders out of the championship.
Well,
Here.
Mm-hmm. Indeed, we have.
See, so nobody challenged Stefan.
Yeah, it doesn't look like anyone wants to.
Just started his quick lap. So, let's see, he's in turn 1 right now. He's lost a little bit of time, but he's only 0.2 behind pole position, so it's easily done.
I want to
Now
point
he's
something
up,
out.
Actually, yeah, go ahead, man.
Don't you think in this position it would be actually better to start in second? Even though you're not starting on the inside, if you get a normal, start of the race, it should be pretty easy to go into the lead. In my opinion, I think it's better to start off the second.
I would disagree, just simply because those two starts that I had, the first start I had on Tuesday, I had the inside line, and then the second one yesterday, I had the outside. And I mean, I was lucky. I was definitely aggressive, but I was also lucky that there wasn't anyone behind me, especially with yesterday's race. Going around the outside, I tried to use as much room as possible, all the way to the outside of the circuit, as much track as possible. But, you know, if somebody behind me had overshot, they would have just run straight into me. I think the inside line is the safest line. As long as you can break for it and take as much inside as possible and not drift wide. But, you know, it's really hard to drive with your mirrors on the first corner of the first lap.
Yeah, we're going to see Stewart cross the finish line. He is not going to be able to improve on his lap time. And this is going to be it, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to check the grid, but it's going to be Stefan Buckley taking that pole position. Beautiful lap. No one wanted to contest it. It's going to be very tight on the start. And we're going to do, of course, you know it. I like to do it. It's a little grid walk. Oh, yeah, baby. That's how I like it. We're going to do it the Mark Pocock style. There you go with the free camera. You got to love it. There you have it. It's going to be Stefan Buckley starting it all out. Then Kenneth Lindholm taking P2 side by side with him. There we have Billy Stewart and Ian McFarland. Don Queen, we see him on P5. He's going to go side by side with Mr. McKay, who's P2 in the championship. Then we have Sosa, which did an incredible qualifying lap. Awesome to see the Portuguese doing well. Skelton side by side with him. Then Sovic and Mr. Nico Mansell. There you have him. Margaritis. We expected a little more on the qualifying, but one way or another, P10 is still good. Pedersen and Blythe, respectively 11th and 12th. Then Langlois, Vesman, Hopper, Vivas, Miles, Banks. Then we have Kevin Torrance, Leduich, Willie Owens, look at that, and Mr. Vivas finishing the grid. And gentlemen, I think it's time to rock and roll. 1 minute and 40 seconds for all the drivers to get their setups ready and going. Wow, I'm nervous. 50 minutes, no pit stops. What is going to happen?
Yeah, who's going to fill their underpants? That's the question here. But I think that the driver with the best go faster stripes is the one who's going to win. What do you reckon?
Same thing. What do you think, Mr. Rolas?
Question.
She said it all.
It's going to be exciting, that's
for
sure.
Look who we have in the chat. Look who.
Mr. Ollie.
Hello, mate.
Steph.
And, you know, Ollie's saying something. He said that Steph changed to the Beamer because it's not as hard on him physically. And, you know, I'll attest to that as well. You know, I've had issues with my arms and my elbow. The Beamer is much easier to drive. I don't know why. It's just something about the feeling. It's smoother. The steering there's less steering input. You don't have to steer it quite as far. And I don't know. It doesn't appeal to me. To my driving style, I tend to drive a little bit more aggressively, but Stefan is a guy who he's much more progressive with the throttle, he's much more progressive with the steering. He wants a car that is more compliant when it comes to being smooth, and he is one smooth driver, so it doesn't surprise me that the Beamer agrees with him more than me.
So I'm going to stick out my neck here, and I'm going to say Kenneth is going to take the lead of this race.
Okay, thinking like me, I like it. Mr. Robas, I love it. We'll see, because both the BMW and the Bentley very good on the straights. The race is going to start in just a few seconds. All the cars getting their engines ready. Get ready, because we're going to rock and roll in about 30 seconds time. Here we go, everyone. Suiting themselves up for...
$20 on Buckley.
Okay. I like that. I like the confidence on your friend. Let's see if this one will not be the one where the one in P1 will go out. But Mr. Buckley is going to get ready. Be careful. We saw what happened on Group 2 last week, missing the start and getting a penalty. Mr. Buckley taking it safely. The green lights are going to come out in just a few seconds, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to go rock and roll in 3, in 2, in 1. And here we go. Side by side, we go Buckley and Lindholm. I told you P2. That's a very good chance of making the move. Lindholm right now has the upper hand. And there you have it, Buckley. He's going to keep it safe, go for the inside line. But for now, it's Lindholm taking the P1. We told you, Mr. Wood, it's Mr. Lindholm, the P2. Worked perfectly for him. We haven't had too much of accidents. Oh, and just as I say it, pandemonium. Get the shotgun, and that was Mr. Sosa, unfortunately. We're going to check a replay of that. That was a big hit between all of the gentlemen. Here we have the replay. You can see everyone making it through turn 1, no problem. But then we went into turn 2 and 3, and that's where everything happened. You can see the car side by side with him. Ooh, Sosa not leaving too much space. Touching. Oh, he went into the grass. He completely flopped for a second. And there we go. 3-man extravaganza. Ooh, you can see there Nikos getting some positions after a bad start. But we're going to go back into live action. Right now, it's Mr. Lindholm leading. And so far, so good, apart from that incident.
Yeah, and thankfully, you know, our championship guys, the people in the top 5 made it through that first turn unscathed. So we now have a race.
That's it.
Oh yeah, but you can see already the gaps nearly a second. We see a move between Langlois and Hupcha. Good overtaking maneuver. Look at that, still side by side. Oh, God almighty. That was a big hit, and Hupcha's on the wall. What is happening today with the commentator's curse? Every time I focus on someone, he has gone into the wall. I'm really sorry, gentlemen. Ooh, Hupcha, that rejoin at the end. Is it going to work out? Is he going to be able to defend it? No, he's going to let it by. He's going to let it slide. We're going to go now with Peterson, who's making the move on McKay. McKay is going to defend it, breaking a little later. We know the Porsche can do that, no problem at all. He's going to be able to defend it. Very good defense from the Canadian. And the Honda of Mr. Peterson is going to look forward to finally making the move. But we have a lot of action on the back. There you have Kevin Torrance has been overtaken by Vivas. And the Doig has been overtaken as well by Manuel Sosa, who was one of the cars involved in the incident in lap 1, turn 2. We're going to go now with Don Quinn. There you have him. He is P5 at the moment, getting closer and closer to Billy Stewart. And right now, it's going to be Mr. Stephen Buckley on P2. And so far, let me tell you, very close action. But you already see a gap in the front.
Yeah, we got a little bit.
I just wanted to mention one thing. Kenneth, by the way, has been sick for the last couple of weeks. He's been racing with high and low grade fever. I think he's only now starting to feel better, but he's been sick a long time as well.
Yeah, that's what you call dedication, and that's something I need to give you all props to, because I know most of you guys are usually dealing with maybe some diseases.
Don't say it.
No, I'm not going to go for that. I'm not going to go for
that.
No, sir. No, sir.
Right?
No, sir. I'm not going to go there.
Bloody obvious.
No, I'm not going to stay the bloody obvious. I'm saying some people, unfortunately, have had to deal with diseases. I've seen some people deal with COVID, and I've been through that as well. But the determination and the, and the motivation and the willingness to go and keep driving, that's something admirable, in my opinion. And no, I'm not saying
the thing is, one, it's not just the driving, right? It's the people. It's this community. And here we go. We've got Don Quinn. He's got a better exit than Billy Stewart going down the main straight. Billy is squeezing him over. Be nice, be nice. This is the back straight, which is going the right-hander at Sunset. Then right side by side. He's got the inside for the left-hander. See if Billy gives him the room.
Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful defense. Ay. McFarlane into the wall. I think it went a little too early on the throttle, but that was a very beautiful fight between these two gentlemen, respecting each other.
We have Nikos and Peter Miles both in the pits.
Ooh, Nikos pitted. Maybe we missed that. That is very unfortunate. What a second.
So just going back to what I was saying there, we were talking. Oh, somebody else in the gravel.
Stop and go here.
Solbech.
Stop and go for Nikos. Oh my God.
Yes, not good. You want me to go back with Nikos? Let me see if I can find what happened to Nikos Margaritis. It's not letting me go to the replay. That is very unfortunate.
So we race not just because we like racing, but we like racing with this community, with each other. If this was just random racing on a public server, you probably wouldn't see Kenneth racing. He probably just wanted to convalesce and get better. But
right.
Kenneth loves racing with this community, as do all of us, and that's why we're so committed to it, because it's so much fun.
How lovely
That's a
that is.
very good point.
Look at this fight here for P13. I have to agree with you. Oh my God, the 3 wide for a second. Let's see who's going to break the latest. Who's going to have the biggest cojones. You can see Langlois was trying to put it on the inside. It didn't work out. Still side-by-side action. What a lovely fight here in the middle of the pack. 7 cars together, very, very tight between each other. We need to go now back with Peterson because it's getting real close to McKay. And so far, wow. I'm amazed.
This is a 9-car battle.
Yeah, it's
Amazing.
incredible. And the Doik is going to go for the move on Sosa. He's going to try to defend it. Sosa has the outside right now. Let's see how they come out of the corner. It looks like Mr. Doik is going to be able to defend it or not. Sosa going up for the inside. What a beautiful switcheroo. Margarita with a stop-and-go penalty. That has been speeding in the pit lane. Sosa's going to go through, no problem at all. And here we go. Beautiful fight. My God, gentlemen, this has been an amazing race so far, and we've only been here for 7 minutes.
That's right. The only thing, though, is Stefan must not let go. He must attack now and not later. He has to stay within these 2 seconds and try to bring the gap down as much as possible.
God,
he has to fight now until the very end of the race.
Did you see
he has set the fastest lap of the race, and he's less than 2 seconds behind Kenneth. So I think he's just Stefan is probably just getting his mojo. His wife Darlene has got him some coffee. He's just like chilling right now. He's like getting into his rhythm, and like you said, hopefully he brings it and closes in on Kenneth.
I think we also need to point out what Mr. Polmore said. Willie Owens, P12 already. My God, what a good race from Mr. Owens. It's been a while since we haven't seen him back in the eSeniors. I remember back in the day when we talked, and it's really good to see him back. And what a performance so far. 10 positions gain, avoiding pandemonium, as we said. And he's looking very good for at least a top 10 in a couple of laps' time. But one thing I need to tell you for sure is that Peterson and McKay both are catching Stewart and Queen. And so far, Buckley and Ringholm are on another league.
Yeah, and Philippe Sauvage is doing a good race as well.
Mm-hmm.
And so is Eric Langlois. I mean, those Frenchmen are getting a little more aggressive towards the end of the season. I know they're having a hard time finding the right pace, but they're doing good on the strap.
Sorry for interrupting you, because that's McKay going wide, and Peterson is going to go through. No problems at all. And now he has his eyes set for Mr. Stewart. You can see how fast Peterson is pushing. He's doing incredibly well, but you need to take care of those tires. Remember, we have the new tire model, and we know it's very, very, very unforgiving. So he really needs to control the tire, because it's going to go out at the end of the race. Don't you think so, Mr. Robas?
Absolutely. And Jonathan, I think you are right. Stefan is starting to ease on Kenneth, and this could make it very interesting in a few minutes.
Yeah, and he knows that, it's a long race, and you can't win at the first corner or even in the first few laps. It's all about consistency, and especially with this track, similar to what we were saying earlier on, that, it's constantly twisting and turning, and you don't get very, very much of a break. It's all about that consistency, and not necessarily fighting other cars, but the fight is with the track and with the car, and
that's right.
Yesterday, I had people like riding my tailpipes, And I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to let them by because they are way over the limit. And guess what? Almost every car that I let by, other than Chris Bourne, they spun it and they lost it, and I regained the place. So, and I know that was Cup cars, a little bit different to these guys with all the downforce, but you know, exciting stuff.
Oh yeah, look at that.
Thing, my big surprise is Don Quinn, P3 7 seconds down. That's a big margin.
That doesn't surprise me at all, pace-wise. He's going to be actually happy with P3 at this point, I think.
Mm-hmm. Can I be honest with you? I think he's just keeping it safe, keeping it calm, and maybe he's saving himself for the last 20 minutes. So then he can start pushing, because you can see the times Lindholm and Buckley are doing. They're very, very fast, and you know at the end it's going to take its toll. So it's all about waiting.
And you know, and I know for a fact that, you know, Don Queen, you know, he's a fit guy. He does push-ups. He runs. Like, he's super fit. And maybe the guys ahead of him.
Oh my God! Stewart into the wall. Oh, unfortunately, very wide. That's gonna cost him a lot of positions and surely a little bit of damage. Now that means McKay P4, Peterson P5. We're gonna go with Stewart to see. Is the steering all right? I want to see that. The car doesn't look too bad, but you can see he's very... he's struggling so much to turn.
He really nerfed it, didn't he?
Yeah, you can see how slow he needs to go through the corners. I think that's going to be a little bit of a pit stop, but we're going to go now with Willie Owens. Look at that. Vivas making a little bit of a mistake. Willie Owens already on his tail. Let's see if Owens can make the move, because he's carrying a lot of speed. He's being patient, waiting for the end of that hairpin. We've seen a lot of gentlemen make mistakes in this downhill section. He's already catching Mark Women as well. 4-man fight for P10. Beautiful to see. But for now, Owens is going to have to be a little patient. Langlois behind him. Very close action everywhere on the track. Buckley's really closing him down. Sorry, Mr. Wood.
No, go ahead. I'm just making silly comments. I'm seeing Willie like being really aggressive. You know, he actually drives in VR now, which before he came back he wasn't driving in VR, but he's got a lot of pace.
You can see how fast he's getting. Women made a big mistake.
Check how close now Stefan is to Kenneth Lindholm.
0.5 of a second.
Wow.
Look at that. And it's getting real close. Look at that. How fast. Thank you very much, Mr. David. We need to talk a little later, my friend. Look at that. Buckley catching Lindholm as fast as he can. Let's see if the move is going to happen in this lap. But you can see the pace is considerably faster and favorable for Mr. Buckley, who's pushing like a maniac. Let's see if it's going to try to make the move happen soon. He should, to get some clean air and just get on his own rhythm. But remember, the tires at the end are not going to like this. Mr. Garland, you've missed an incredible 14 minutes of racing. I will join you in Disco tomorrow. Fantastic. Have a fantastic afternoon, if I'm not mistaken. Should be afternoon in there. And Buckley seriously getting close. Do you think he's going to go for the attack, or do you think he's just going to get a little bit of a tow?
I think he's going to just harry him. He's going to try and make him make a mistake, because what I think is happening is he was like consistently 2 seconds behind. I think Kenneth probably made a little mistake, which has allowed Stefan to close up. They're very, very close time-wise, but he's going to get as close to him as possible without running into him. And I know, you know, and he's going down the outside here, he's going to try and get a better launch, and he's got he's touched
each other right now.
He had a better launch coming out of turn 1, but you know, he got on the gas earlier, but then he hit him right up the bumpy. Yeah, and that's what's going to happen with those slow corners. So hopefully he'll have learned his lesson there. Thankfully, neither of them went off.
Yeah, that's something I think we need to talk about. We mentioned it throughout the last few days after the patch was implemented, that the physics are now favoring close fighting, because it's not just like a little touch and you're out. You could see Mr. Lindholm could hold the car on track. Of course, we saw that Buckley was carrying a lot more speed, but Lindholm decided to stick to his line. He had the right to. It was Buckley's fault. but he's going to look forward to finally making the move, at least this time around, in a clean manner. The fastest lap time of the qualifying was a 43.4. McFarlane has made a little bit of a mistake. You can see the difference in pace is absolutely massive between himself and the leader. And we're going to go now with Mr. Vestman. There you have him, P19. He has lost 5 positions since the beginning. What can you tell us about Vestman, Mr. Wood?
Well, I don't actually know a whole lot about him, I have to admit. So actually, Jeremy, what do you know?
Yeah, I don't know much either. I know that he's always been in Group 3 and is pretty consistent, running, I believe, in the midfield or the back of the field. Most of the time doesn't create problems, but no, I don't know much about the gentleman.
Is that what it comes down to now, Jeremy? It's like, does this guy create problems?
Just as you say it, he's going to collide with Hopcha. He's going to go wide. And a car spawned in front. That was Kilton with a spin. Oh my God almighty. Another hit. And can you believe the competition?
Classic commentators first. It was brilliant. You couldn't have scripted it better, Jeremy.
Yeah. That's
I think Jeremy. This is what it is. I think Jeremy actually has a button. He has a button on his console which is like, explode.
I cannot believe this. I just cannot believe this.
The 3 times we've done it, the 3 times we've seen it. It's incredible. Look at Buckley. Buckley now again in the back of Lindholm. He's really getting this pace in. We're going to compare times. There you have. Still, Mr. Buckley being the faster one of the two. But he really needs to nail this corners. Again, coming to the skirts because he went off the track. Very aggressive through this right-hander. Group 3 driving style. The curse is strong with this one. I don't know, guys. This is magical. Either magical or as Mr. Wood pointed out, there has to be a button, Mr. Robas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rob is not happy and is showing it in a manner he shouldn't be expressing himself on the feed there, but.
For sure. It is very frustrating. Here goes Luke, and he's gone off as well.
And just behind, it's Langlois trying to get women. We saw women making the mistake on this exact corner. So he needs to get a grip and start getting those positions back. Stefan is close. Yeah, he's in the second gap, but we haven't seen him getting closer than that. Only 5/10, but he hasn't been able to make the move. The only time we saw that, it came to contact. Once he gets a little closer, we'll go with him. Right now, Women is going to try to defend as well as trying to make the move on Kevin Torrance. That looked like a really good braking zone for him. A 3-man fight into turn 3 and 4 we go. Look at that. He's going to try to put the inside. Really had to slow down. That also forced Torrance to go a little slower. We're going to have a side-by-side through this really long right-hander. Let's see who's going to come out the winner. It's Mr. Women dropping it down a little bit, trying to get the more speed. Oh, very tight between the 3 of them. A little bit of bump drafting. Ooh, it looked like NASCAR for a second, but still very clean. Ooh, women. Going a little too hard on the throttle, too early. Beautiful fright from these 3 gentlemen. Oh my God, you guys are terrible. Your curse is worse than my wife.
That's brilliant.
Oh, that is amazing. We're gonna go.
I totally respect Rob's issue, and it does suck when you get into wrecks and stuff, and it's not your fault. But this is a good conversation to have, though, because in order to race closely, with these guys, no matter what class it is, and in our races in general, you have to have respect for the other driver. There has to be mutual respect. But the question is, how do you build that respect, right? It's very difficult to build respect purely on the track, because if you have wreck after wreck after wreck with somebody, it's just going to happen over and over again. What I would suggest is, in order to build that respect, is to spend some time in Discord with your competitors and race with them on Discord, because when you can talk to somebody, because you can say, hey, I'm catching you or whatever, as long as they're aware that you're there, it's gonna you're gonna build trust with one another. And so I encourage people, if you do have a problem with anyone, if you keep on hitting somebody or somebody keeps on hitting you, reach out to them and race with them in Discord, just for fun, just the two of you or three people or whatever it is. But if you do that, you're going to build trust, and you're going to eliminate further problems.
Oh yeah, and I can tell you, look at Billy Owens.
I find it very touchy subject. Actually, I believe that, first of all, it's impossible to not know you have someone real close to you. If you are not aware that somebody is very close to you, you have an issue driving, right? So you should be aware of what's taking place next to you every second of a race. And I believe trust is built when you race with the same drivers on and off, and you never have incidents with them.
But Jeremy, the issue, as we see Stefan really, really close now, and Kenneth, the issue that I'm talking about isn't them being aware that you're behind them. It's if you try to overtake, that they're not going to squeeze you or they're not going to move over. It's that kind of trust, the trust that you can race with one another without having an accident, an accident that you shouldn't have, right? That when you dive down in the inside of a corner, that you win the corner, and the guy that you're in Discord with is not going to embarrass themselves by moving over on you and saying to you in Discord, "Oh crap, sorry, I moved over on you. That was bad on me." That is not going to happen. It's much less likely to happen if you're actually in Discord with them.
Definitely. You can see right now the fight for the lead. It's Buckley on the third sector being consistently faster by a long shot.
But see, Buckley and Lindholm are two very committed drivers, and you can see
contact
Let him go. Let him go. Good on him.
It did. I mean, really. I cannot say a word without something happening today. It's incredible.
You know what I think is going to happen now? I think that the next time Stefan gets up behind Kenneth is just going to let him go.
Yeah, because the frustration, you can feel it. And unfortunately, I think I have to agree with Chris Bourne. Well, when can't I? Because the man is a fantastic driver. It's all about how late these guys are braking. We've seen it time and time again. They're trying to force those braking zones to the absolute limit, squeezing every single centimeter on the track. Unfortunately, twice the try for making the move has happened, and unfortunately, twice it has come to contact. Of course, Buckley is keeping it respectable. He has let the man by. Jessa, mute yourself, says Chris Bourne. I don't know why, but that's what he's saying. And we're going to go now with Kevin Torrance, who's fighting with Mark Wiman and McFarland. Look at that three-man fight. Who is going to come out with the win? It looks like Torrance is going to try the outside. Maybe a little bit of a switch. Going a little too wide. And McFarland says, "Hey, baby, I'm here. I'm going to take this opportunity." Ooh, very close between both of the white drivers. Look at that. Can he make it through? Beautiful overtake from Mr. McFarland. Mr. Torrance opened the door completely.
He did. He went a little bit wide.
Yeah. And that's what we're saying. They're forcing so much, Mr. Wood.
Yeah. Hey, Jeremy, so question for you, mate. So we've seen Stefan rear-end Kenneth twice now.
That's
but
right.
he's waited for him each time, right? He hasn't even passed him. He's waited for him to go. Do we have any precedence here in the rules for Kenneth to log some kind of protest that's going to get Stefan a penalty? Or is he good? He's good.
No, everything is fine. Everything is fine because as long as he waited for him, he recognized he applied the brakes too late. So he respected the rules. But what I mean, we have now, I believe we have two guys that are really walking on eggs here. I mean, you know, I believe now Stefan is not as much at ease as he was before, and Kenneth doesn't know anymore. Can he contain Stefan or not? You know, I like. I just saw Andy Goddard said Jeremy the reincarnation of Murray Walker. Yeah, yeah. And talking about that, he used to have a famous quote. He says, "There's absolutely nothing wrong about that car, except that it's on fire." You know.
I remember that.
Yeah.
So here's the thing, right? So it seems to me that Stefan, unintentionally or intentionally, no, it's definitely unintentionally, he's kind of treating Kenneth as a pinata, right? He's hitting him over and over again until the rear end of his car will take no more, and he's going to have some aerodynamic issues.
Yeah, but
it's interesting.
But there's something.
If I was Kenneth, I will start getting annoyed because being hit 3 times is a little too many. Okay, I don't mind once. I don't mind maybe a second time and then
a third.
But 3 times. Yeah. I mean.
But I do.
No, it's okay.
Oy.
We had a little bit of lag in that turn. But,
oh, good. You need to hit the poor man.
Easy, Murray.
Easy, baby. Easy, baby. I have to say something for sure. Buckley is being consistently faster.
But it becomes annoying at one point, you know, if you're being hit too many times, even if it's in a slight matter, you go, why?
Yeah, I have to add that we've seen it throughout the last laps. Buckley's been consistently faster by quite a bit, and you can see Lindholm is just holding him in. Of course, he has the right to. He's in the lead. Of course, he can defend, but you can see the difference in space, in space and pace is very big because we've seen it throughout the whole last 3 laps. And that's why I've gone into the cockpit view of Mr. Buckley. You've seen him. He has been forced to lift and even brake more than once throughout the corners because he has way more speed. I do think for Lindholm, the best thing would be to just let him by if he ever gets that close. Langlois. Stop and go. More harder penalties helps maybe to drive safer. That's what Mr. Roeder says. But here we go, another lap. And you can see like Buckley's really looking for those exits. He knows he can get them, and he clearly knows he has the speed, but
yeah, and Stefan, I think what he needs to do, and it's down, as Andy Goddard is saying, it's going to be down to racecraft here because Stefan, he's got the speed. He just needs to take these corners slightly differently and get a better exit. If he takes the same line as Kenneth, he's not going to get past him. He needs to take a different line and to get a better exit out of some of these corners and maybe push a little bit more pressure. We've got some traffic in front, so now this is actually a really good opportunity for Stefan to get by.
We're gonna take a look at the track map so you can see this will be the only car in front for a tiny bit, probably around 5 laps. Well, that's one way of taking yourself out for the leaders to pass.
That was convenient. You pressed your button there again, Jeremy.
Oh my God.
Wow.
Jesus Christ! I
believe these guys are doing an amazing. It's a mind game right now, and you can be faster, half a second faster, if you don't find where to pass the guy in front of you. It could be very frustrating.
Oh yeah. We're going to go in the fight now behind, a little more behind. You can see it's side by side between Torrens.
Very close to each other again.
Yeah, they're very close. We're going to have to jump.
Extremely close.
Yeah, it's always the same. It's Buckley catching up in those 2 sectors, second and third. And here again, a very good exit from that BMW. I think he needs to get a little closer on that last corner. That's where he's losing the time. In my opinion, if he is half a second behind, no problems at all. He can make the move because we see how late he brakes. You can see it right there, how much he gains only on the first corner. And here we go, another round. Let's see, is Buckley gonna make the move at the end? We have a yellow behind. We'll check it out in a little while. No, okay, it seems like it was just a little bit of an off track, but very good action from these two gentlemen. There you have it. It's Lindholm still leading the pack. Very good defense so far throughout the whole race. Unfortunately, it has come to contact twice, and thankfully it wasn't very hard, because then Don Quinn would have been able to take a shot. He's 11 seconds away from these two, so big gap. Still 19 minutes. Anything can happen, so we will see how the race progresses. But for now, very beautiful indeed. We're gonna go now with Jeroen Vestman. Oh, and just as I go into it, my God Almighty! Oh no! Where man?
Wow.
Oh my God! Why the hell do I do this? You can see here the incident behind. Women trying to go for a gap that wasn't there, unfortunately. And that's another contact, more damage. Oh my God, I cannot switch cameras.
Yeah, these guys are just tripping up over each other. It's really crazy. Hey, look, I'm not trying to be funny here, but well, okay, I'm always trying to be funny. But no, I'm not trying to be funny here. But
oh, sorry.
No.
Ay. Oh my God, that's Nikos as well. Jesus Christ, a 4 wide. What is going on? What the hell is going on? Oh no, they're gonna take themselves out. Jesus Christ. No! Oh my God. What is going on? I just lost my mind. We're going to have to check a replay of that, because that was the epitome of craziness. Here we have, they were going side by side there in front. It makes contact. There's the rest trying to get away. Nikos loses the car. Then we go 4 wide for a second. Look at that. Jesus Christ. Women getting into the two white cars. The two white cars take each other out. That is Kevin Torres, if I'm not mistaken. That was maybe Peter Miles. I don't know. Peter Miles doesn't hold those brakes. Takes another man down.
Yeah, this isn't racing.
You can see.
This is not racing, guys. This is
bowling.
Bowling. Have to really take a very close look at this. I know our forums are probably going to absolutely explode. What I would suggest is no one make it a nuclear explosion. Let them figure this out, but the stewards are going to have to look at this. That was crazy. What do you think of that, Jeremy?
I think it was crazy. I mean, it's too late in the season to have those kind of incidents. Yeah. I don't understand why we still have those, but okay, we'll have to handle that.
That was red mist. That looked like red mist from like 3 or 4 different drivers. That was really crazy.
Yeah, that... I think we shouldn't be seeing this
in
type
the
of stuff.
meantime, I didn't take my eyes off Stefan and Kenneth. And Stefan is being more careful now, following Kenneth. He's definitely braking sooner. He came really close to him, but he applied brakes sooner and didn't risk anything.
Yeah, so my point I was about to make before we had that complete wreckfest was that I believe that, obviously Stefan, he's led the championship, he's dropped down a little bit, he won a race earlier in the season, but I don't think, and that race he actually won, I think, from the start, but I don't think he's actually been in this position before, meaning being in second place and chasing the leader, less than a second behind the leader for lap after lap after lap. So I think this experience is a little bit new to him, in the league sense and an actual race.
That's
especially,
right.
we're a couple of races till the end of the championship, and he's challenging for that championship win. So this is a completely new experience to him.
Oh yeah,
it is.
I don't know, guys. I am really sorry, but that was I don't know.
That was brilliant.
Yeah, that was for the spectator. Brilliant. For the spectator, that was
terrible. Yeah.
For the spectator, that's why I lost my voice for a second. I was like, "What are we watching?" But one way or another, Jesus, those standards need to go a little up, because we're at the end of the season, and I don't think this is something we should be. I don't even know the word. I don't even know the words.
No, I mean, if you have drivers who do that race after race, literally 2 races running, you start looking at race bans. And obviously, we
Yeah.
don't know what was going on behind the wheel. We only see from the camera from outside. But those kind of wrecks, you if you do them a couple of races in a row, there's going to be some serious consequences. This isn't kindergarten here. This is the real world.
It is a real word. And talking about
I
real,
agree with that.
real is the gap between these two gentlemen now. Buckley's really closing in. Let's see if we can make it through. 14 minutes and 40 seconds remaining. That is a very good exit from Buckley. He had to slow down a little bit because if not, he was going to come into contact with Lindholm for the third time. They're going to go really tight. You can see how much Buckley needs to brake on this long right-hander because you can clearly see he can go faster, but he's not trusting himself to go on the outside line. Of course, it's very dangerous to do so. We've seen a couple of people do it, but of course they've been really sorry, I don't even know how to talk anymore after that. Really slow through it. But for now, Buckley's still on the hunt. And this is the only fight we have on track after what just happened. And just as I say it, McKay goes completely spinning around. And is going to drop a position. So that puts Mr. Peterson ahead. And David Blythe, who has been very silent throughout the race. There you have him. Right now, P6. And maybe he might have a chance of catching McKay by the end of the race. Good Lord. People in the chat say Wreckfest. Well, I am really sorry, but I kind of have to agree with what we saw. But this fight for the lead is being very interesting, and I cannot wait to see how it's going to finish because we still have 13 minutes. And again, Buckley has lost a little bit of time this lap. So we're going to focus on this fight and Mr. Wood and everyone in the chat as well as Mr. Robas, who is the driver of the day so far.
I can't say. It's all going to come down to these two guys in the front, for sure. Right now, Kenneth gets the nod. Stefan, we shall see. We'll see at the end of the race.
Well, they're coming into traffic, so let's see how that plays.
Yeah, we're going to take a look at that on the track map. So you can see now it's not just one car, it's two. So that's going to make things spicy. So we're going to go on board with Kenneth Lindholm. And let's see what the men can do to get rid of these two gentlemen. One of those cars in front is Mr. Kevin Torrance. That was one of the white cars we saw collide on the straight. Let's see if this time around nothing like that is going to happen. People don't realize how easy it is to spin it on that corner. That is very true indeed. As we've said before, this track is very tricky, very hard to drive on, and of course the tire model has a big part of it. I completely agree, Mr. Goddard. Let's see if Lindholm can get a better lap and get rid of traffic as soon as possible. You can see that is Nikos Margaritis as well. Like, apart from these two, apart from the top three, everyone else has been involved in some sort of chaos. So maybe fate is gonna play a big part now. I don't want to say anything because then they're gonna call me I don't know, dark magician or something, but
something out of Harry Potter. But something that Frank is saying in the chat about give these guys a break. They've come home from work and to have some fun. No one crashes deliberately. Frank, we're not suggesting that anyone is crashing deliberately. However, when two drivers are basically trying to use the same piece of road, that's sometimes just unnecessary. And when there's been like some kind of incident before that, and then they're arguing over literally the same square foot of tarmac and having a big wreck, that's just it just shouldn't happen. So when you're right, we're here to have fun, and everyone is here to have. It's just unnecessary.
Yeah, there you have it, the Dark Wizard. Thank you very much, Oli. I love you too, my friend. But yeah, like no other fights on the whole track apart from this. So we're gonna stick with this until the end. I have to agree with what you said. Of course, we know these gentlemen are not doing it on purpose, or I hope they're not. But what we saw, I think, is not acceptable for being at the end of the actual season. So we'll see what happens. The stewards, of course, are going to have a very, very tough job because they're going to have to check a lot of things throughout these last 50 minutes. But let's see, Buckley still a second behind. He doesn't seem like he's catching Mr. Lindholm now.
Is he?
Yeah, I think his tires are starting to say goodbye. Going a little wide on that exit is not helping him out too much. And that's what we were talking about. He was pushing a lot. Lindholm has been able to keep him behind. If it stays the same, that will be a W for the man from Denmark. So, let's see. Do you think he's going to be able to hold him down?
I believe Kenneth is going to win this race. He's been dominating the race. Yes, he made a couple of mistakes that allowed Stefan to come very close. I believe Stefan made slight mistakes, tapping him in the back, and that took a little bit of his own confidence away from him. And Kenneth will benefit from that. The only other thing that could completely change is...
he's off! He's off! I cannot believe it.
Into the lead.
I cannot believe it.
Go.
The curse.
So, and they're okay, we have a change in the lead.
Yeah.
That's what he was waiting for. He waited as patiently as he could, and he got that mistake. I think that was only the second little mistake that Kenneth has made all race.
And tiny mistakes can cost you everything. There you have him. Jeremy strikes again. Okay.
See how he pulls away now. It'll be interesting.
I'm starting to feel like a dangerous person.
I think the three of us as a combo was not good.
No, we're very, but we're the three J's.
Yeah.
We're the three J combination plate.
JJJ, gangster, baby.
Oh dear.
Oh Lord, 8 minutes remain. Let's see if Lindholm now. Now he doesn't have too much pressure because he knows he has 16 seconds ahead of Mr. Don Queen. So maybe now he can go for a little bit of a push and maybe get that lead
He's
back.
made another little error there coming out of the hairpin.
Indeed. But
I think Kenneth is struggling with his car handling. I think his tires are going.
yeah, but keep in mind, traffic ahead and not just a tiny bit. There's more than 4 cars in front. And these two gentlemen have been involved in more than one incident throughout this last 43 minutes. Let's see the J triangle curse. Oh, another little mistake from Lindholm. He's slowly but surely dropping the gap. I gauge him now.
That's great. I love it. The J triangle curse from Paul Moore. Brilliant.
I think that's going to be our new name. Huh? Oh no! I told you! I told you! Buckley coming into contact with the lap car, and let's see, is Lindholm going to be able to take advantage of this? My God Almighty! Can you believe it? I told you this was going to happen, and it did. I cannot believe my eyes. The lap car just made contact with Buckley. I don't know if he has too much damage. He doesn't look like so, but one way or another, right now, Lindholm is on the back of Stefan Buckley. Is he going to try the move now? You can see he's going a little wider than usual, trying to get a better exit. We're going to check out Buckley. Buckley, that looks like a good exit, but now it's Mr. Lindholm having a big opportunity. I told you anything can happen, even in the last second. Good Lord, can you believe it? I cannot comprehend how this can happen, you know.
Big moment.
Kevin has issues with his car. He has issues. He cannot keep the car. He's sliding too much.
Oh.
Now let me tell you something. So inside the Buckley household right now, Stefan's wife is probably really red-faced because Stefan is using lots of curse words right now. He's going to be really mad. He's going to be as mad as a hatter.
Oh,
but
yeah.
hopefully now he's almost a second ahead now, and he's got a clear road ahead of him, and hopefully no more mishaps with lapped traffic.
Oh my God, can you believe it? Oh, Jesus Christ, what an exciting end. And we still have 5 minutes remaining. Still anything can happen. We're going to check the track map to see if someone is in front. For now, Mr. Buckley's going to have a little bit of clean air. So he should really take a breather. And about the bad words, thankfully Mr. Pocock is not here to listen to us. Or at least listen to him, because good Lord.
But you know he has ears.
No,
So
boy.
he will hear everything.
Yeah, but then at least he's not going to be able to hear what Mr. Lindholm might be saying on his own house. Because, Buckley with a little mistake. Oh, my God, that pressure is getting in. Women behind with a big spin. Thankfully, was behind the leader, so no problem. They killed my car again. Good Lord, you can see Lindholm really struggling with that. Flat out left-hander. Still going, but those tires are dead. We're going off the track. Oh, very slow, very, very slow. What happened there?
Kenneth Lindholm has a major issue with this car.
Yeah.
Is he out of gas?
Yeah,
He
could
can't
be, yeah.
No,
He doesn't.
I don't know.
No, because he's throwing it up again. No, it doesn't look like his gas.
Major issue.
I think maybe he had an itch or something.
Yeah, maybe the leg or maybe a little bit of cramp. I don't know, but good Lord.
Yeah, we're at the end of the race here, and stuff happens, and we get tired. It has to be said.
Oh my God, and especially with the pressure that these guys are going through right now, Buckley has a very good lead because of that that mistake. Bye G3. Oy, that's not good from Millie. That's unfortunate to see. Buckley right now, his tires must be dead. He needs to keep it safe. He knows he has this on the pocket. 6 seconds and it's going to grow because you can see Kenneth is barely making those corners. So Buckley shouldn't be forcing the machine. Let's see if he can make it through for at least 2 more laps. Might look like 3. We will see at the end of this one. But for now, oh my God, everyone needs to go to the bathroom because I'm sure Cork Brown is all over the place.
Wow.
My God.
Yeah, it does look like Kenneth's tires are kind of dead now. Stefan, he's so smooth. I don't think that he's going to have any kind of problems with his tires. Yeah. I'll call out another guy here. David Blythe is in P6, and a couple of interesting facts about both David Blythe and Stefan. So they both served in the military. David served in the Falklands War in 1982. And Stefan served for a few years in Vietnam before I was even born, which is interesting too. But for both of these guys, thank you for your service, and for anyone who serves in the military, thank you for your service. Absolutely. For sure.
Thank
you very much. I completely agree. No one here is Spanish, so I cannot say the same. But USA. Too much information, Juan. I love you too, Olaf. But you know what's going on.
Some interesting stuff when you play with these guys every night.
Yeah, like that's it, man. You learn so many things. It's just so fun to be in here, and I'm sweating, ladies and gentlemen. This race has been incredible. We have now Anthony Skelton going side by side with Viva's just going real slow. I think he just let him by. He doesn't want any trouble, and he's gonna let Skelton take P14. But we need to give a shout out to some people. Willie Owens, P10, baby. 12 positions gain. Still there, still strong. Very good race so far for him. Same for Vivash, Mr. Sven. And Solvich P7. Blythe, as you said, P6. McKay, unfortunately, after that incident, he hasn't been able to recover. Peterson with a very consistent and good performance there on P4. Don Queen has kept it safe. He doesn't want any trouble. He gained 2 positions at the beginning. He's just going to roll with it. He knows he still has a big chance of taking this championship. So, God, we're going to go now for the last lap of the race. We're going to go with Mr. Buckley, who's going to finish the lap in about 15 seconds. Let's go with him. And I think we should have our lovely lap of honor. Absolutely. Come on,
what
guys.
Do we think? Driver of the day.
Driver of the day, yeah. Well, Lindholm has done incredible. Unfortunately, we've seen a couple of mistakes. Buckley has also made a couple of mistakes. I think, for me, I would have to take either Buckley. I would take Buckley, or I would actually take Blythe, because Blythe has been very, very consistent.
No, Stefan Buckley is the driver of the day, no doubt about it.
Yeah, I think several drivers do stand out. Definitely Stefan and Kenneth, they really do stand out as the top 2. David Blythe for sure, but also, honestly, for the amount of positions he's gained, Willie Owens, he's done remarkably well. That is amazing. What a great result. I know he's going to that.
Yeah, that's a very good point. And even Luke the Dewey, is P11. He's going to be thrilled with this.
The Doig, also very good performance. I agree with you. We're right now on board with Mr. Buckley, fastest lap time of the session. For it seems like everyone is voting for him as the driver of the day, and he will be, ladies and gentlemen. We're gonna go on board with him until the end of the lap, because that implies he's gonna take this victory home. As we see him, the white flag is out. There is a lapped car in front. Let's see. No problems at all. Keep it safe, Mr. Stefan. Don't give us a heart attack now on this last 3 corners of the race. Keep it clean. And there we go. No problems at all. You can see those tires are really struggling. But this is going to be it, ladies and gentlemen. Stefan Buckley is going to take this victory home. Incredible race. Super good performance between himself and Lindholm. Unfortunately for Lindholm, he was Buckley the one who conquered it, and now he finds himself in an incredible spot. And that is a lovely victory. Kenneth Lindholm still P2. Really good props for him as well. Don Quinn, very consistent. There you have him. He's going to go with the pit crew for the P3. And Peterson on P4. Great race as well. And now everyone else is going to cross the finish line. There you have McKay, Blythe just behind. And we have Sobich. We have another yellow flag. That is Stewart really, really strong in this race. He has been really having a tough time throughout the whole race. Sobich getting closer to that finish line. The session is over. We're going to check. Vivas just lost the car. He is completely stuck there, but he's not going to be overtaken because Nikos Margaritis already crossed the line. So he's going to stay 15th. And ladies and gentlemen, this is going to be it. Let's check on the top 10. There you have Mr. Vibash, who's taking a P9. Very good performance as well for him. And Willie Owens just behind the P10. Good race from everyone. We're going to leave you with the timetable. Mr. Wood, Mr. Robas, it has been a pleasure as well to all the fans and viewers.
It was a pleasure as well. Thank you everyone for being there.
Great fun. Awesome commentating with you, Juan and Jeremy. Brilliant.
Thank you very much. Have a lovely night, ladies and gentlemen. We'll see you tomorrow with the Group 2. I'll be here to see you all. Good night, guys.